You know, sometimes the road to being picked at the NHL entry draft can take various, fits and starts and twists and turns. But the idea of playing in the big leagues is always there, especially people from small towns. Now, this player, probably one of the better prospects available in the 1969 NHL Amateur Draft. Boston took him second round, 22nd overall, and one of the strongest Aboriginal players of his generation. But it didn't work out for Major League Hockey, but he shone in minor league hockey and the other squads he played for. So I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I've always had difficulty with his name. Art Quoquochi. Selected by, again, from Boston, from the Montreal Junior Canadiens of the OHA. His 69 draft year was great. He won a Memorial Cup with them that campaign, 28 points in 54 games with 18 goals. But what really stood out for Art, for a lot of people, he played all three forward positions. He was also named the Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean Rookie of the Year with the Dolbeau Castor in 1966-67. Now, he was born September 26 in Saint-Maur, Quebec, but grew up at the Wemotaci First Nation Reserve in northern Quebec. Now, the native of Letuc, Quebec, eventually made it to minor pro, but his goal of making the NHL was kind of stopped in his tracks despite some decent numbers. He put in 52 games in the 1970 season with Salt Lake of the WHL and the Oklahoma City Blazers of the CHL with 10 points, including 6 goals in those 52 contests. 71, he really shone in his first AHL season with 18 points in 65 games, including 8 goals with the Great Hershey Bears. Now, 72, he split time between the Columbus Golden Seals of the IHL and the Flint Generals with 10 goals in 41 games, including 26 points and 3 big points in the playoffs. Now, 72, he played with that strong Boston Braves squad as well with 2 goals in 18 games. Now, what's kind of ironic about his career, the Braves, his last minor pro team, went on to win that year's 71-72 AHL regular season title. Now, he was on loan by Boston to Columbus of the IHL for the balance of that 71-2 season. Now, he was traded by Columbus to Flint that year in exchange for Jimmy Young. So on loan, he can still be traded. Now, he's an older brother of former major junior player Maxime Quoquochi. Maxime, a very strong player as well. But what really stood out for me, like the Memorial Cup victory in 69, he had a lot of good talented players like him. Boston was scouting all over the place. And he, like I said, even though he didn't make the NHL, the Aboriginal presence was starting to grow in the minor leagues and the NHL over that decade, or the end of the decade. And I think Boston took a good chance on him, and he proved to be, like I said, a very determined minor leaguer, not good enough to make the major pros. But again, the teams he played for, again, some of the better minor pro teams, Salt Lake, Oklahoma City, Hershey, Columbus, Flint, and Boston. Nothing to be ashamed of. But like I said, a good two-way player, but I still look at that 28 points in 54 games in 69. And you can tell by the picture, very handsome man. A lot of members of the press at the time saying he was sort of like the unofficial heartthrob of the side, because the fans really enjoyed his two-way play. And, you know, he made a lot of friends in his years in Montreal, because, you know, technically not a hometown boy, as we say, but close enough. You know, Montreal Junior Canadiens would be comparable to a high-level AHL team in 2021. So, again, that's the story of Art Quoquochi. If you like what we're doing here, especially on this, the players like him, center 5'11", again, just one step away from Major League Hockey. And I thought he would get a job in second expansion, but of course, you know, role players, he wasn't putting, I think, up enough goals. 10 goals a season is decent, but you need 15 or 20 as a role player to get a big shot at the WHA and the NHL. But nothing to sneeze at. Again, 6 minor pro teams in 3 seasons, plus the Montreal Junior Canadiens, plus a Memorial Cup title. Again, a very, very dedicated Aboriginal athlete from that part of Quebec, and I know he overcame a lot of racism and a lot of, downbeaters saying, you won't be able to make it, but he did make it, and, it just is an aspect of numbers. He maybe was the 25th best team on a team that only needed 23 players. So it happens sometimes. But like I said, a good, solid skater. My dad saw him play many years ago, and he said he always wondered what happened, he said, with that young First Nation gentleman who was with the Montreal Junior Canadiens, and now we know. Thanks for listening. Bye.